The good news is Spider-Man Brand New Day and the upcoming second season of Daredevil Born Again are in fact connected. Yes, this was confirmed by the head of Marvel Studios' television division, Brad Winderbaum. And if you're familiar with him, chances are you know that he's a pretty big deal considering he's literally like second in line behind Kevin Feige. So things are looking good for Marvel Studios and especially for Daredevil and Spider-Man fans.
Okay, so let's talk about the latest update on Daredevil in Spider-Man Brand New Day, because outside of rumors, canceled con appearances, and everything else, we actually got an official statement. This comes at us from Marvel Studios. So what's important to note here is how we got here, because if you guys have been paying attention the last year, it's been off and on confirmations and then debunking in regards to Charlie Cox appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day, or at one point simply known as Spider-Man 4. Insiders have flip-flopped just about every 2 months, and then, as most recently we talked about it, Charlie Cox cancels a Comic-Con appearance. Every single insider and website reported, yes, it's because he's in Spider-Man Brand New Day. A couple days go by. No, it's because he's in an Apple film with Idris Elba. And now we're back to, well, he's gonna appear in it, we don't know when. So again, it's always back and forth. But what's happened recently is that the head of Marvel Television, Brad Winderbaum, was making the rounds talking about Daredevil in the MCU, further elaborating that yes, it is an MCU show. Obviously, but people keep asking this because people keep demanding crossovers, which is funny because people keep demanding that there's less crossovers so these projects stand alone by themselves and you don't have to be watching all of them because people can't decide what they want. But he has a very interesting quote that he gives to EW, which confirms Daredevil and Spider-Man. Okay, so I'm going to read you the entire quote because EW just straight up asks him, how exactly is Daredevil connected to Spider-Man Brand New Day, if at all? And specifically Daredevil Born Again Season 2. He said, and I quote, "We are communicating a lot with the team of Spider-Man Brand New Day to make sure that there's coherence there. We don't want to spoil anything, but it very much exists in the same world, and it is important. We're in a shared universe together. But I would say just the Daredevil comic books, the Punisher comic books, they depict a certain tone and an idea of New York in a different way than Spider-Man. But they both exist in the same universe. It's similar. Everything lining up and impacts are felt. We are able to tell different stories." End quote. So in case you missed what he's saying, because some people are saying this is word salad, it's really not. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to break this down for you guys just from start to finish. So he says the Daredevil Born Again team is communicating with the Spider-Man Brand New Day people. AKA, yes, they're passing notes back to one another because the both projects that they're each independently working on are set in their own corner of the Marvel Universe. And like he mentions the Punisher, that's also in there. But like the comics, they have a different vibe. For example, any given month, you can pick up a comic where Spider-Man is facing off against a giant threat like Green Goblin, who's attacking a quarter of New York. And at the same time, Daredevil is in that very same New York, but his story is literally not impacted at all, and the only thing you might see is a little news report or somebody mentions it, and Daredevil maybe picks up something that's going to have it on like a newspaper as he walks by a stand or something. You know, it's very simple stuff. What he's saying is that type of stuff. These worlds are connected. Daredevil mentions Spider-Man. Spider-Man is going to obviously mention what's been going on in New York with the vigilante crackdown. More than likely, exactly with what's going on with Daredevil. Since we know that there's a storyline that plays out in Season 2 where Matt Murdock is dead, they're probably going to mention that the blind lawyer, Matt Murdock, has been killed. We're probably going to see Peter react to that or something like that, you know? And that's going to be the connective tissue. But unfortunately, this is where I got to break the bad news to you guys. Everybody's running with the story that Daredevil is in it. Did he mention that Daredevil is in the project anywhere in this quote? Because he didn't. So again, I hate to be the one that brings you the bad news because you want to be upsold on a false reality, but nowhere in that quote did he say that Daredevil is appearing in the film, which some people are claiming is exactly what he stated. No, he said there's crossover, but that doesn't mean it's a direct appearance. Because if you guys go back as far as Phase 1, they talked about how there was crossover with Iron Man in Thor. And he talked about how there was crossover with the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 1 and 2. And there was. Very minimal. Outside of the one scene, because Robert Downey Jr. owed them a favor and agreed to appear in the Incredible Hulk for free, for a quick cameo, very little connection. Same universe, yes. References, yes. But that's really about it. You know, in Iron Man 2, you get Coulson, and he mentions that there's something going off in the desert. He's got to go report to something, but that's really it. You know, you're going to get things like that. That's exactly what you can expect. I'm expecting Frank is going to mention Daredevil. He's going to mention his friend, and Peter's going to be like, yeah, I know him. I know Daredevil. Of course I do. You know, they're going to do that, but that's stuff that happens off screen. So it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of people have been misled to just believe, oh yeah, Daredevil's in this and he's a major part of it. If anything, a quick cameo. But I think this is laying the foundation and the groundwork for, as I've said before, Spider-Man 5. Spider-Man 5 will be another street-level, boots-on-the-ground film, because it has to be. It's post-multiverse saga. We're getting to that point where it's just the Marvel Universe. And this is the way that they're going to handle it. This is what you can expect going forward. This is the way that they're just going to shape this universe where everything exists and all these moving pieces are there. And you're looking at Spider-Man just being Spider-Man. No more crazy stuff happening all over the place. No more space travel or anything like that, because we're past that. Sure, that might happen in Avengers films, but his stories have to be brought back down to the ground, as this is a new trilogy. And you can tell that they're doing this trilogy as more of a basic storyline. And I don't mean as an insult. I mean more of a basic Spider-Man storyline that keeps it in the Spider-Man realm more than the entire Marvel Universe realm. So characters will cross over with him on his level and not the other way around. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.